bid proposal report is one of the most valuable reports Follow-Up CRM has to offer. Here's how it works. This report displays everything that has the proposal delivered, whether it's checked or unchecked, and it's going to show you everything that has a bid date. So if it has one of those two things, it will process into this report. The bid proposal report is based on one of those two dates, so it has to have one of those two dates to pull into this report. If it doesn't, it will not show up. So one of the most important steps when pulling this report is to choose your date range. If you use the default date, it will pull all the data from January 1st through today's date. Start by clicking on the drop-down all the way to the left to select your desired date range. You can use the drop-down to filter the date range, or you can start typing the date range and select it from there. For example, if you start typing last 30 days, that option will appear and you can easily click on that item. You can also select a wider or more specific time frame for this report by clicking on that second drop-down. Let's say you want to pull a bid proposal report from January 2018 to present. All you need to do is click on that drop-down, click on the month, and hit the left arrow to go back a year until you reach 2018. Select your desired month and date, and then click on the right arrow to get back to the future date you're looking to filter. This is way quicker than scrolling through each month. For the purpose of this training, we're going to select the last 30 days. Generally, when running this report, it's a good practice to filter this by the company because as a sales manager, you want to be able to see everyone's activity on your team. So we're going to make sure we select company under that drop-down, and this is going to show us everything they had a proposal delivery date or a bid date in the last 30 days, whether it's checked off or not. You also have the option to filter this report by office and contract type if you choose. For the purpose of this training, we will leave those fields blank so we can pull all the information. From here, you'll go ahead and hit the button that says Get Report. Another window will pop up, and at this point, we highly advise you to export this in Excel. The reason we want to export this to an Excel is because this allows you to manipulate and change information and hide the cells that we don't want to see. Once you've selected Excel, hit Get Report. You'll notice the report downloads here at the bottom of your screen as an Excel file. Click on the file to open the report. Next, you'll hit Enable Editing at the top. This report includes the bid ID number, project name, the city and state, contact, company information, proposal delivery date, etc. Basically, this pulls all the data that you've previously filled out in your individual project files and pulls it all into one organized place. What we're going to do first is select column I, which is the sales status. Next, click on Home at the top, then click Sort and Filter and select Filter. This next step is what makes this report super valuable. What we need to see is everything that's still in the pipeline. We don't care about anything that's been lost or already contracted or won. That stuff doesn't particularly matter for this specific report and the insights we're trying to gather. So what we're going to do is filter out all of our closed files, contracted files, and dead files, and hit OK. From here, you can go back to that drop-down and select Filter from A to Z so you can see all the sales statuses together. Now you can easily view the sales status, see who's working on the project, what type of project it is, and then we have the follow-up date. The follow-up date in column R is going to show up if you're scheduling your follow-ups in the company information area, while the follow-up date in column S is going to show up if you're scheduling the follow-ups at the top of your sales behavior list. This particular company schedules their follow-ups at the top of their sales behavior list. So we're going to go ahead and hide column R to clean up this report. What's great about this report is you get to see what the sales status is, what the bid date is, and when the follow-up date is. We'll want to make sure that all of these dates are accurate and that all of your follow-up dates are all scheduled for the future and not past due. You'll notice this project right here has a sales status as pending, but doesn't have a base bid. So when we're in our next sales meeting, we can talk to the team members on this project to ensure a proposal was sent and make sure everything has been updated in the system. It's also important to make sure that none of your projects are missing a dollar amount in the price field, because if you're missing a dollar amount, then this won't be reflected in your pipeline and will give you an inaccurate pipeline. Another nice thing about this report is this feature here at the bottom that shows you the total bid numbers and amounts for all your account managers, estimators, and takeoff managers. You also have a summary of the contract types and offices. This is based on everything that was pulled in this report and not what you filtered out in the report. This includes all the data. So if you want that data too, this is a handy tool down at the bottom of this report. That wraps up our overview of the bid proposal report. This report is excellent for running before your sales meetings to make sure all your teams are following up with the projects they're bidding. We want to make sure we have the follow-up dates for every single project that's in the pipeline. This is absolutely mandatory. When sales managers are using this report to hold their teams accountable, they increase their closing ratio every single time. So what happens is they're not just bidding projects anymore, but they're winning more of what they're bidding because they're following up every single time. We highly encourage you to leverage this report and see the results for yourself.